You recording?
Yes.
Okay. So you have the back off, and I'm assuming that you've plugged it in, turned it on, and the fan is turning, and there's a little bit of a hum here from the compressor. Also, if I touch the compressor, it was just running before I unplugged it. It's quite hot. Compressors get really hot. So if the compressor is not running, it won't be hot. But if you want to check to make sure the refrigeration is working, that does the dehumidifying. And once you have the back off, there are two screws, just two screws here that you get to now that the back is off, that are holding the front on, the front cover. So one screw, the top corner here, and another screw in the top, equivalent place on the other corner. Okay, and those two screws are holding the top. Now, turn this around. We remove the condensation bucket, and we look in and we see here that there's a screw on this side that is holding this bottom part of the front cover on. And I just lost the screw. Don't lose screws. And a screw on this side, and the equivalent screw here. There it goes. And with that, this kind of pops out. You may have to pop it, but that's okay. And this lifts off. It's going to be connected with a wire to the control panel. And so you can just set it aside. And the filter normally goes in here in the little slot. This is the refrigeration coil. And this machine was just running a moment ago, and I can feel that it's cold. And that's what it should be, because that's what causes the condensation. Now, even with the top or the front and the back off, if I'm being careful not to touch anything electrical, I should be able to plug this in, and it should run. I don't think there's a safety switch to prevent it from running. There's a beep. And I go back to the control panel, and it says bucket full. There is a safety switch for the bucket. I forget where the safety switch is. Where's the switch? Here it is. No, that's not it. Well. Can I turn this on? Will it run? No. I need to put the bucket back in. Well, put the bucket back in. Where is the safety switch? Oh, here it is. Okay, there's the safety switch. Okay, and so I've turned it on. The safety switch is not really a safety switch, it's a switch that tells it that the bucket is out. It won't run with the bucket out. Okay, so you can hear it running if you look on the back side. Marisa, if you look on the back side, you'll see the fan is running. Don't touch anything back there. And I'm going to turn the humidity setting down so that it should be dehumidifying. And I'm going to feel this. This is already pretty cold.
Where am I supposed to be?
Oh, where my fingers are. And this is pretty cold here. And this is telling me that it's running refrigerant through the coil and collecting condensate. This one's not too bad because it's not that dusty here, but you see there's a lot of dust. And so with a toothbrush,
Very important item in your toolkit.
a toothbrush or some other kind of brush, this is basically a fancy toothbrush. When this is not plugged in, you can very gently brush the coils. You won't get to all the coils because it turns out that there's two separate sets of coils here. But this is the one on the outside here is the one that collects most of the dust. The filter is supposed to prevent this dust from getting to it, but it's not perfect. And a toothbrush or something like that is really good because the brush goes between the veins of the coil and gets it clean. So that's the main thing that has to be clean. And I'm going to turn it off. I think. Yeah, it's off. The other thing that accumulates dirt is back over here. So if you come back over here, and that's the fan, the so-called squirrel cage fan. And again, with a toothbrush, helps if you have a clean toothbrush or a clean brush, you can brush any dust off the fan. If there's lots of dust on the fan blades, all these little ridges here, then it's not very efficient at moving air. So it has to be efficient at moving air, and it has to be efficient at blowing air across. This is pulling the air across the fan coils here. And of course, there's just a filter that comes out all the time, and this filter, again, toothbrush, or you can wash this off in the sink to get the dust off. But that's basically all you can do. Any other mold or anything in there, certainly wipe it out just to have it be as mold-free as possible. This whole bottom plate here, this whole bottom tray here under the coils is what collects the water, and then the water drips down into the bucket. So it will get wet, and since it gets wet, it will get moldy. And if it's super moldy, then you probably want to try to blow it out, or take your toothbrush and brush it out. And important is to brush the water onto your mother. Okay.
Good thing I wore a brown shirt.
Anyway, that's it. Putting it back together is the opposite, which is, I should unplug this before I do anything stupid. Okay, unplugging this. Anyway, if this never gets cold under any circumstances, then it's just not working, and it may be something as simple as the refrigerant in the lines has leaked out. That's what happens with time. Anyway, so this goes back in, just gently get it into place, and then pop it into place. You may need to pop it, screw here, around the back side, a screw here, and then the rear one goes on. Again, you may need to pop it into place, putting it down from above so it clears the little handle, and then pop it into place and put the screws back. Make sure it's all tight so it doesn't rattle. But first things first, make sure the fan is turning, it's not completely dead. Make sure that the compressor is getting hot. That tells you the compressor is running. But even if the compressor is running, it's a piston going. It doesn't necessarily tell you if it's pushing refrigerant. There should be a hot line and a cold line. This is the hot line, and then the other line with the insulation on it, thank you, should be cold, and that's what that runs into. And that's the other thing, if you just want to take the back off, in principle you can just pull the insulation back a little bit and feel if the copper line that's going to the coil is cold. And then of course the whole coil will be cold. Okay, that's it. Bye.
Good luck.